Go ahead, B. What's your question, BV?
I'm just wondering, man. I don't. You do know that David Benavidez is busted with cocaine, so I don't know if he's gonna win, man. I don't think he's gonna be able to have the cocaine this time. I don't
Well,
know.
speaking of cocaine, there is a topic that I wanted us to touch on. We don't have to spend the whole 20 minutes on or anything, but I just wanted to put this back into the forefront because these were not my words. We started talking about this crown jewel, and I think D-Town was here, and I think everybody was here the last time. I'm not sure if Dub was here, but we was talking about, since you brought up the COCAINE word. We started talking about, if y'all look on your screen, we was talking about a tweet that Victor Conti basically put out there on February the 7th, 2023. And I know the audience can see it on my screen, and hopefully the panel can see it on your screen, where Victor Conti said these words. And I'm going to repeat everything that Victor Conti said in a tweet on February the 7th. Time for boxing to get woke. Even the most stringent at body testing can be circumvented by smart cheaters. Be aware. Memo at Guru Science. Heredia is in camp with at Benavidez 300 versus at Sweet Hands Plant on March 25th. Substances like IGF-1 LR3 are powerful and undetectable. I'll start with you, D-Town Boxing, then BBO, and then Dub, and then Pool, and then Crown. What are your thoughts about what Victor Conti said when he actually poured in body testing? He poured in Benavidez, he poured in Plant, and then he actually poured in a guy who was charged and convicted of steroid dealing, who Victor Conti knows very well, and Memo Heredia, who is the now strength and conditioning coach of David Benavidez of this training camp against Plant. What are your thoughts about it? Starting with you, D-Town.
Me personally, I mean, if you test the fighters and they come up clean, I mean, we ain't got them to talk about. And me personally, I don't really cut for Victor Conti anyway. I mean, the dude, he just running his mouth, and we all know about his background. Not saying that he's doing it right now, but my deal is if you test them, you come up positive, we got a problem. If you test them, they don't come up positive, we don't got no problem. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, that's a good point. What you got on the BB?
Hey, I see what you're saying, D-Town, but we all see out of nowhere David Benavidez looking like Anthony Joshua. I mean, I don't know, man. And I remember that was the same guy that was with your man Pac-Man when Pac-Man was knocking everybody out, coming from sperm weight, knocking everybody out. So I get what you're saying, but hey, man, at the end of the day, when I see David looking like Anthony Joshua's little Mexican brother, that's alarm. That's red alarms, man. He never looked like this. I don't want to. I wouldn't dare want to say that he's doing something wrong, but it looks kind of crazy. I mean, it just looks. And he gonna go to bed. That's funny. He gonna do all this and go to bed.
I mean,
That's just my thought. Go ahead.
I see his weight. He looked like he shedded a whole lot. So I'm not gonna act like I don't see that. I mean, this man is in the kind of shape that, I mean, I don't even know what to say. Tell you the truth, he looked good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he looked like he been out there really doing his thing. I mean, but you can't point fingers at something that happened years ago. I mean, we could assume and say that Caleb Plant is popping. You know, he's taking drugs. He just ain't got caught. So I'm just saying. So it's a whole bunch of what ifs. But at the end of the day, if they're not dirty, they're not dirty. I mean, what's the point of talking about old stuff? I mean, if you catch them now. Because look, Canelo, he got caught, and people want to sweep it up on the rug. So what I'm saying is, just to be fair, if you test them and they not, they test positive, that's what that is. If you test them, they not positive, that's just what that is. We can't go off of old stuff. I mean, it's fighters that probably never been caught and probably dirty. We can say Caleb Plant dirty. You know what I'm saying? What if? Can't go about what ifs.
D-Town. Now, I think of it like this. I'm a spiritual guy. Now, God made those eyes in your head. You telling me God's eyes are wrong when you see this guy looking like a freaking bodybuilder and he never looked like that his whole career? Come on, man. Stop, man. Stop.
Hold up. Did God tell you that, or is that you? Because I'm a minister.
I'm asking you. I said you see what God's eyes you see.
I'm a minister, and I know the word. What I'm telling you is, it's a lot of people claim that God showed them something, and God ain't show them nothing. So don't come tell me about eyes in your head.
It's a joke. If you're a minister, more power to you. All I'm saying is this: at the end of the day, I've never seen. I'm just having fun. That's what we do on the panel. We got put some smiles on our faces. This is a fun topic, man. Enjoy yourself, man. Hey, because one thing you got to remember: the guy's never looked like this. He's never in his career looked like this. We've never seen David Benavidez have a six-pack. Never. So now he got a six-pack.
So he can't train. He can't do something different this camp and look better.
He always trains. But what's the difference? What's the only difference? The same guy, I can't remember his name, that was with Manny Pacquiao, is with him.
Alex Ariza.
Alex Ariza.
Alex Ariza is his name. Yeah.
Alex Ariza is with him. So, hey, minister or not, all I'm saying is this. If you look at your eyes that God created, at the end of the day, man, it looks fishy, man.
But you got two eyes. You got two eyes. You got spiritual eyes. You got natural eyes. So which one are you looking to? You know what I'm saying?
I'm talking about my natural. Hey, I'm not talking about on the spiritual. It was just a joke, man. I'm sorry if I offended you. I'm sorry. I won't joke with you no more. I don't mean to hurt you. I don't mean to hurt you.
No, you ain't hurt me.
What I'm saying.
You hurt me.
Hey, I won't say nothing else to you. What I'm saying is this. I just don't like the way he looks, man, because I've never seen him look this way. And I've been following David since he was a little kid. I've never seen him in this kind of shape. Out of nowhere, Crown Jewel, you a trainer. You know it. You don't look like that out of nowhere. Crown Jewel.
Hold on, Crown Jewel.
Jewels on this.
Hold on, Crown Jewel gonna get
on him.
Hold on, Crown Jewel gonna get. He gonna get his turn.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. He gonna get his turn. Hold on, not yet, Crown, not yet. I saw a guy in the back, Blaxican Bruce. He was on our panel before. I think
my little guys.
Okay. Blaxican Bruce, if you're still listening in, all right, Blaxican, hold on. I'm gonna let Blaxican come on. Another good guy. I want him on because he's from Nebraska. I think he's from Omaha, if I'm not mistaken. But he gave us a good perspective the last time he was on. So I'm going to bring him on because right after this, we're going to deal with Crawford versus Spence. But when his joint come back on, I'll get him on. But until then, let's go to right side. Hey, Dub, I mean, you hear what's going on up top. What's going on, man? You know, what's your take on this thing here, man?
You know, I got it. And shout out to my boy BVO, man. I understand where you're coming from. I got to go with my brother D-Town in this situation, though. I can't put a jacket on anybody without proof of it. You know, I don't want to sit here and cast aspersions on anybody's character as far as calling them a cheat, saying that they own something without there being proof. The thing is, it's ironic that Victor Conte is the one coming out saying these type of things when for so long he was the one coming up with ways to subvert and to go around these testing methods. You know what I mean? Even with that being the case, he is qualified to say what he's saying because he knows those ways around. He's a chemist. And so I think that at the end of the day, as long as everybody is playing by the same rules, right? Everybody's getting the same testing. If there are ways around it, hey, that's up to VADA, that's up to the testing officials, Victor Conte, whoever, for them to all get together and say, okay, we know that people are doing this. We need to figure out a way to test for this. If you know it's happening, then you need, instead of just tweeting something like this, help be a part of the solution. Don't just throw that, hey, this is the problem. Be a part of the solution. And so in this situation, I mean, and once again, it's ironic that it's Victor Conte. And me personally, I don't have too much respect for Victor Conte after, you know, the whole Balco situation, everything that happened way back in the early 2000s or whatever. So at the end of the day, man, if you're gonna bring these type of things up, be a part of the solution. You need to be working in tandem with other individuals in the sport to figure out more stringent testing, and so that it puts everybody on an even playing field. My last point is, even with David Benavidez, I agree. We have not seen him look in this type of shape. But I will say, this is the second time, and I believe his last fight, he came in at 166 in that fight as well. He came in significantly underweight, telling us that he's proven, hey, I'm dedicated, I'm working, I'm putting the work in the gym. And all I'm saying is possibly he's been working that hard the entire time, and he's starting to reap the benefits of it. So don't take the brother credit away when we don't have anything concrete to go off of. That's just my opinion.
I don't want.
All right, we got it.
Cheating, Doug. I want to clear that up. I don't want you to think that I'm saying that he's a cheat. But the fact is this: I've never ever seen him look this way, ever.
Maybe he's never worked this hard in his life.
He might have. We got our Paul Counter and then Crown Jewel. Paul Counter, what's your thoughts on what Victor Conte said?
Well, I find it rich that every time there's a big fight, every time there's a good, decent fight, here come Victor Conte. You know what I'm saying? Putting some kind of allegation out there that, somebody may be cheating. I think he uses these platforms. I think he uses these big fight times to, be relevant. Because nobody's talking about snack. No, let's just keep it real. Nobody ain't talking about no damn snack. You know what I'm saying? We see the commercials. You know what I'm saying? But nobody really cares about no damn snack, bro. Now so what does he do? He does what he do. He waits for it. Now I guarantee you, when Errol Spence Jr. and all that stuff goes on, he's gonna say, "Oh, there's a problem with PEDs and boxing, and you got to watch Errol Spence Jr. because he's got big nipples." You know what I'm saying? So every time that there's a big fight, he comes up and he brings this stuff about. Now, if he wants to start a more stringent, some kind of VADA testing, some kind of, something more stringent, he need to do that. And he knows all the tricks because he was one of the biggest cheaters in boxing. He helped the fighters and athletes cheat. So, instead of, putting it out there like that and putting all these allegations out there, and putting, question marks in the boxing fans' minds, he should just create the organization he need to do to catch all the PEDs that can't be detected. Right now, I understand David. He don't look. He always carried a little bit of body fat because he's a big boy. But see, he understands the importance and significance of this fight. He knows what this fight can do for his career, and he had been training. He came into training camp in shape already. So he's had like 13 dang weeks already of training. So he's probably overtraining, really. And I think it's showing in his body, you know what I'm saying? Because he's really, really trying to do extra to win this fight. And you know what I'm saying? That's why you see the transitioning in his body. And it's just a shame that, this young man, and plus he's young. When you're young, you can change your body. You know what I'm saying? When you're young as David Benavidez, you can get in there and train hard. And if you never trained that hard, your body will transition, especially if you've been working out for a long period of time. You know what I'm saying? I think the guy put in the work, and I think he wants everybody to acknowledge that because he did fail in the past, you know what I'm saying, as far as, conditioning and as far as, losing his belts. And so I think he wants the recognition of being, a dedicated champion, and people are crapping all over him, because, he looked different. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a shame that that's the way boxing going, because we are catching so many cheaters in the game. Nobody say nothing about Canelo. When he goes slides up and down, he looking like, He-Man. You know what I'm saying? He go all the way up to 175 and look like He-Man, not an inch of fat on his body. You know what I'm saying? He even got busted for the crap. So you know what I'm saying? So we got to give a little grace.
He's a right. But what I'm saying,
right. But what I'm saying is we got to give grace to those who haven't been busted. You know what I'm saying? We got to give grace until they do get busted. You know what I'm saying? We just got to wait and see, because they get tested after the fight also, right, Manager Marty? Don't they get tested before and they get tested after the fight? You know what I'm saying? Like for PEDs, they got
fighters, fighters usually get tested after fights, but the commission are the ones who facilitate and administer those testing, but it's just urine testing. There's no stringent VADA testing in regular fights. I think this fight though is going to be VADA testing, to my understanding.
Well, let's give David the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? And You know what I'm saying? Let's see how the fight goes. You know what I'm saying? Until these guys get busted, you know, Victor Conte just need to chill. You know what I'm saying? He need to create another organization that pick up those other additives and PEDs that don't get detected. Until then, you know, I think he just need to shut up and stop mentioning this stuff before big fights, because that's what we're going to be doing. It's going to be in the back of our minds that David, he's looking different and that he might be cheating. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that's bad for the sport of boxing. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got on it.
And can I add one
Good
point real quick?
perspective.
Of
course, and then we'll go to Crown. You got it.
Y'all know, I'm a Devin Haney fan, right? It's interesting that Victor Conte, he will come out and he'll be like, hey, Devin, he passed the VADA testing, right? When it's to his benefit, but then he'll come back when it's another fight, and what does he say? Oh, you can't trust the VADA testing. They got ways around it. Then why are you showing me the receipt of one of your fighters that's in the SNAC program passing the VADA testing if you're going to tell me there are ways around it? So it's very contradictory, and like Poole said, it seemed like he's chasing the clout.
Hey, Dub, let me ask you a question, right? Dub,
yes, sir.
Let me ask you a quick question.
So
now I look at you as a boxing historian. When have you ever seen a guy change? And I'm not saying he's cheating. I want to specify these comments are not saying that David's doing any cheating. But when have you ever seen a guy change his body like this naturally? When?
Yeah, I can't. I don't know nobody off the top. Not just off the top of my head. I can't think of anybody who did it.
This fast.
But it hasn't been fast. It's been a progression. It's been.
What I'm saying is
the last two. If you look at how he came into weight his last fight, you know what I'm saying. That was the beginning of the real work that he had been putting in. And so, I mean, I can't name nobody specifically, but at the same time, it's just that I can't say that he's doing anything wrong just because.
I'm not saying he's doing anything. I don't want you to miss what I'm saying. I'm just asking you, Dub, when have you seen a guy totally transform his body like this?
I got an answer.
Go ahead.
Fernando Vargas, when he fought Oscar De La Hoya. One and only time in his career he had a six-pack. He was super motivated. He was fighting his former sparring partner who he felt like disrespected him. Biggest fight of his life. He came in that one fight with a six-pack, so it has happened.
You said Oscar De La Hoya?
No, I said Fernando Vargas when he fought Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah, but he tested positive for steroids after that fight.
Did he?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he did. I was kind of like, damn, you know, you were good with it, but I was like, damn, he tested positive.
Hey, you just proved my point. You just proved my point, Crown Jewel. You just proved my point.
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, did you hear that?
Let me speak.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it. Let him get a chance to respond to that, and then tell you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard it, but I want Crown Jewel to get his. Go ahead, Crown. Got it.
I've been on both sides.
I'm sorry, bro. That was the nerd part of me, bro. That was the nerd part of me.
It's all good. It's all good.
I love it.
All right, but I've been on both sides of this. I spoke with you guys last week about it, and to bring Victor Conte, to bring the guy in, I forget his name, you know it, Marty, and to have Victor Conte say it, the body to have changed. The retired firefighter in me, I have an old saying: where there's smoke, there's fire. That's one half of me. The other half, though, and it kind of was reinforced when I seen what he weighed in today. He weighed in 166, one of the lightest weights of his career, which means he took this fight extremely seriously, which means he works hard. He worked hard. So for me, I can't go out and say every fighter that transforms his body is dirty, because Devin Haney has transformed his body. He's looking like, and in this particular fight, Caleb Plant on the press tour has looked like he swallowed a box of rocks. So, I mean, both of these dudes are extremely cut going into this fight. So who's to say he's not dirty? But my thing now is, though, we have no concrete evidence, as D-Town said. And it kind of just puts a black eye on boxing as a whole to speculate like that. They have Olympic-style testing. That's the best testing we have available. If he passes it, you have to take it at face value. So when I look at everything in totality, although I was leaning towards, and I'm going to say this too, to have Victor Conte say it, he hasn't had to beat his record. So I kind of want to get the word of somebody that's has a little more integrity. He's a cheat himself. So it's kind of hard for me to say have a drug dealer come up to me and say, "Listen, man, y'all need to stop these people from selling drugs." And I'm looking at him like, "Who, you?" You know what I mean? So I don't think Victor Conte is all that credible.